7 things that drain your energy by 2 p.m. without you noticing. If you've ever wondered why your energy disappears right around 2 p.m., this video is for you. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover 7 everyday habits that quietly drain your energy before the afternoon is even half over without you noticing at all. And here's the best part. By watching all the way to the end, you'll walk away with one powerful insight that can change how energized you feel every single day, no matter your age. You might already know some of these things. They might even seem basic, but the results are out of this world when you finally see how they connect and how small changes can give you back hours of clarity, calm, and strength. Now, if you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, this matters more than ever. Feeling tired doesn't mean you're just getting older. Often, it means your body and mind are quietly reacting to patterns you've had for years, patterns no one ever explained clearly, until now. Today, we're not talking about extreme diets, exhausting workouts, or complicated routines. We're talking about simple, overlooked habits that feel harmless but slowly steal your energy day after day. Stay with me because at the very end of this video, I'll share one key realization that brings everything together. It's simple, it's practical, and once you understand it, you'll never look at your afternoons the same way again. Let's begin with the first energy drainer, one almost everyone has and almost no one suspects. Energy drainer 1, skipping real morning fuel. The first thing that drains your energy by 2 p.m. often happens before 9 a.m., and most people don't even realize it's a problem. It's skipping real morning fuel. Now, I'm not talking about skipping breakfast completely. I'm talking about having something that looks like breakfast but doesn't actually support your energy. A cup of coffee, a piece of toast, maybe a sweet pastry. It feels light, it feels harmless, and at the time it feels enough. But here's what's really happening. Your body wakes up after a long fast overnight, already needing steady fuel. When it only gets caffeine or quick sugar, your blood sugar rises fast and then quietly crashes. You may not notice it at 10 a.m. You might even feel fine at noon. But by 2 p.m., your system is running on empty, and it shows up as heavy eyelids, low motivation, and that feeling of, I just need to sit down. For many adults over 60, this pattern becomes automatic. You eat less because you don't feel as hungry, or you keep breakfast small because you want to be good. But your body still needs protein, healthy fats, and stability, especially as you age. You might already know this. It might sound basic, but the results are out of this world when you give your body steady fuel early in the day. And once you do, afternoons start to feel very different. Energy drainer 2, dehydration you don't feel. The second energy drainer is one of the most overlooked and one of the most powerful, dehydration you don't feel. As we get older, our sense of thirst naturally becomes weaker. That means you can be mildly dehydrated all day long and never feel thirsty at all. No dry mouth, no warning signs, just quiet fatigue that slowly builds until by mid-afternoon, your energy drops for no clear reason. Here's what many people don't realize. Even slight dehydration reduces blood flow to the brain. That leads to foggy thinking, slower reaction time, and a heavy, drained feeling in the body. And no amount of coffee fixes that. Coffee actually makes it worse. Many adults over 60 sip liquids instead of drinking them. A few sips here, a small glass there. It feels polite, it feels sufficient, but your cells need consistent hydration, especially earlier in the day. You might already know that drinking water is important. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but the results are out of this world when hydration becomes intentional instead of accidental. Often, that 2 p.m. slump isn't your age, it's not your sleep. It's your body quietly asking for water, something it stopped asking loudly years ago. Energy Drainer 3. Too much sitting, too long. The third energy drainer doesn't come from doing too much, it comes from doing too little movement for too long. Sitting feels restful, comfortable, safe. Especially as we age, we're told to take it easy, but the human body was never designed to stay still for hours at a time. When you sit too long, circulation slows, muscles go quiet, oxygen delivery drops, and your energy follows. By early afternoon, your body isn't tired, it's understimulated. The brain reads this as fatigue. That's when you feel sluggish, stiff, and mentally checked out. The surprising part is, you don't need exercise to fix this. You don't need a gym, you don't need sweat, you just need regular interruptions to sitting. Standing up, stretching, walking to the window. Gentle movement tells your nervous system, we're still alive, stay alert. Many people believe they're tired because they're older, but often they're tired because their body hasn't moved enough to stay awake. This one feels almost too obvious. You might already know it, but the results are out of this world when movement becomes frequent and gentle instead of rare and exhausting. Energy Drainer 4. Mental clutter and unfinished thoughts. The fourth energy drainer has nothing to do with the body and everything to do with the mind. Mental clutter. Unfinished tasks, unspoken worries, decisions you keep postponing. Each one seems small, but together they create constant background noise in your brain. You may not feel stressed, but your nervous system does, and by 2 p.m., it's exhausted. For many older adults, mental clutter increases with time. More responsibilities, more memories, more "I should handle that someday." The mind never fully rests, even when the body does. This kind of fatigue feels different. It shows up as low motivation, irritability, and that sense of being overwhelmed without knowing why. You sit down, not because your legs are tired, but because your mind is. You might already know that stress drains energy. That sounds basic, but the results are out of this world when you realize how much energy is lost to thoughts that never get resolved. Clearing even one small mental loop can bring more energy than a nap. Energy Drainer 5. Eating lunch that's too heavy or too light. The fifth energy drainer hides right in your lunch. Not what you eat, but how it affects your blood sugar. A heavy, carb-loaded lunch can make you sleepy within an hour. A very light lunch can leave you weak and shaky by mid-afternoon. Both lead to the same result, that familiar 2 p.m. crash. As we age, digestion changes. The body processes food differently. Meals that once felt fine now quietly drain energy instead of providing it. Many people eat lunch out of habit. The same sandwich, the same soup, the same portions. But the body's needs evolve, and when meals don't match those needs, energy suffers. This doesn't require dieting or restriction. It requires balance. Protein for stability, fiber for steadiness, enough food to fuel the afternoon, not so much that digestion steals all your energy.
You might already know this, it might sound like common sense, but the results are out of this world when lunch supports your afternoon instead of sabotaging it. Energy Drainer 6. Poor morning light exposure. The sixth energy drainer starts quietly in the morning and shows up loudly by afternoon. Lack of natural light early in the day. Your internal clock depends on morning light to regulate energy. When you stay indoors, keep lights dim, or start the day slowly without sunlight, your body never fully wakes up. By 2 p.m., your system thinks it's later than it really is. Melatonin rises too early, alertness drops, and suddenly everything feels harder than it should. This matters even more as we age because our circadian rhythms become more sensitive. Light isn't just visual, it's chemical. It tells your brain when to be awake and when to rest. You might already know that sunlight is good for you. That sounds obvious, but the results are out of this world when morning light becomes non-negotiable. Sometimes energy isn't about rest, it's about timing. Energy Drainer 7. Saying yes when your body says no. The seventh energy drainer is emotional and deeply personal. Overcommitment. Saying yes to plans you don't have energy for, conversations that drain you, obligations that feel heavy but familiar. Over time, this trains your nervous system to stay in a constant state of output with no recovery. By afternoon, your body pulls the emergency brake. Energy drops, focus fades, not because you're weak, but because you've been giving too much for too long. Many adults over 60 were raised to be reliable, polite, and self-sacrificing. Those qualities are beautiful, but when they override your body's signals, energy pays the price. You might already know this. It might feel uncomfortable to admit, but the results are out of this world when you honor your limits without guilt. Energy returns when your yes becomes intentional again. Let me pause here for just a moment. If you're still watching, it means something here resonated with you. Maybe you recognized one habit, maybe several, and that awareness alone is powerful. So here's a gentle question for you. If you've made it this far, type the number 1 in the comments below. Just a simple 1, no explanation needed. That small action tells your brain, I'm paying attention. This matters to me. And it helps others your age find this video too. Now take a breath, because what's coming next isn't just another tip. It's a shift in how you think about energy altogether, and it's the foundation for lasting change. Stay with me. Connecting the pattern. Here's what all these energy drainers have in common. None of them feel dramatic, none of them feel dangerous, and none of them announce themselves clearly. They work quietly, gradually, day after day. That's why so many people believe fatigue is inevitable with age. But often, it's not age, it's accumulation. Small drains stacking up until the system can't compensate anymore. You might already know every single thing we've talked about today, but knowing isn't the same as seeing the pattern. And once you see the pattern, everything changes. Energy isn't created by one big action, it's protected by many small ones. And in the next segments, I'm going to show you the most effective way to reverse this pattern, a method that works with your body instead of fighting it. This is where real energy returns. Why pushing through no longer works. For most of your life, you were probably taught one rule about energy: push through it. Tired? Keep going. Low focus? Try harder. No motivation? Don't complain. And for many years that worked. Your body could compensate. It could borrow energy from tomorrow and use it today. But here's the truth no one says out loud after 60. Pushing through stops working. Not because you're weaker, but because your body is wiser. It refuses to be ignored. When energy drops now, it's not a flaw, it's feedback. Your system is communicating in the only language it has left. And when we override that signal, the cost shows up later as deeper fatigue, poor sleep, or that heavy, drained feeling that lasts for days. You might already know this. It sounds simple, but the results are out of this world when you stop fighting your body and start listening to it. Energy doesn't return through force anymore. It returns through alignment. The hidden role of the nervous system. Here's something rarely discussed. Energy is controlled by your nervous system, not just your muscles or your sleep. When your nervous system feels rushed, unsafe, or overstimulated, it switches into conservation mode. That's when energy drops, even if you slept well and ate right. Many older adults live in a constant low-level alert state. News, noise, screens, worry. The body never fully relaxes, and by mid-afternoon, it shuts down to protect itself. This kind of fatigue feels confusing. You rest but don't recover. You sit but don't feel refreshed. You might already know that stress is tiring. That sounds basic, but the results are out of this world when you realize how much energy returns once your nervous system feels calm and supported. This isn't about doing less. It's about sending your body a message: you're safe. You can stay awake. Why naps sometimes make things worse. Let's talk about naps. For some people, a short rest helps, but for many adults over 60, afternoon naps quietly steal energy instead of restoring it. Here's why. When you nap too long or too late in the day, your internal clock shifts. Nighttime sleep becomes lighter, the next morning starts slower, and by 2 p.m., the cycle repeats. The nap feels like the solution, but it's actually part of the problem. This doesn't mean you should never rest. It means rest must be intentional, a pause, a recline, closing your eyes for a few minutes without fully sleeping. You might already know this. It might feel counterintuitive, but the results are out of this world when rest supports your rhythm instead of disrupting it. Energy isn't about more sleep, it's about the right kind of recovery.
The power of tiny adjustments. Most people think they need a big change to feel better. A new routine, a new diet, a new lifestyle. But the body doesn't work that way anymore. It responds to tiny adjustments made consistently. A glass of water earlier. Standing up 1 more time per hour. A calmer morning. A lighter lunch. Each one seems insignificant, but together they remove the leaks that drain your energy by 2 p.m. You might already know all of this. It sounds almost too easy, but the results are out of this world when small changes finally match what your body actually needs now, not what it needed decades ago. Energy returns quietly, then steadily, then reliably. Reframing fatigue. Here's a mindset shift that changes everything. Fatigue is not failure. It's information. It's guidance. It's your body pointing you back toward balance. When you stop judging tiredness and start observing it, patterns appear. Certain times, certain habits, certain triggers.
And once you see those patterns, you regain control, not by forcing energy, but by protecting it. You might already know this emotionally, but not consciously, and the results are out of this world when compassion replaces frustration. Energy grows best in a body that feels respected. Let me ask you something important. If even one part of this video made you rethink why your energy drops by 2 p.m., type the number 2 in the comments below. That tells me you're ready for change. Not dramatic change, but real change. And if this video is helping you understand your body instead of blaming it, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone your age who quietly struggles with afternoon fatigue. You never know who needs to hear this message today. Now, stay with me because what comes next is the most effective method of all. It's simple, it's practical, and it works even when nothing else has. The most effective method, the energy alignment window. Here it is, the method that brings everything together. I call it the energy alignment window. Between late morning and early afternoon, usually from about 1:30 to 1:30, your body decides how the rest of the day will feel. Most people ignore this window. They eat automatically, sit too long, stay mentally tense. But when you protect this window, energy stabilizes naturally. During this time, eat balanced, not heavy, move gently, hydrate intentionally, avoid stressful input. Give your nervous system calm signals. You might already know each step individually, but the results are out of this world when they're combined into one protected period. This single adjustment often removes the 2 p.m. crash completely, without effort, without forcing, without exhaustion. And here's the one insight I promised you at the beginning. Your energy doesn't disappear at 2 p.m. It's decided hours earlier. Once you understand that, everything changes. You stop chasing energy and start guiding it. You stop blaming age and start working with your body's rhythm. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters at the right time. If you remember just one thing from this video, let it be this. Small choices made earlier protect your strength later. Thank you for staying with me to the end. And if you want more calm, clear guidance like this designed specifically for adults 60, 70, and 80 plus, make sure you're subscribed. Your energy matters, and it's never too late to reclaim it.